Now, as I said, two leading congressmen, both members of the House Judiciary Committee, who have been aggressively investigating the Fast and Furious scandal. Congressman Trey Gowdy. Gentlemen, it is good of you to be with us. Let me turn to you first, Congressman Gohmert, because you have said it's time for new leadership if a citation of contempt does not follow from what you have seen so far. What is your sense about the direction of the investigation and the resolution?
Well, the Speaker himself, you just played, he's saying people have got to be held accountable. And, you know, with Holder's prior job, when he was running around getting pardons, you don't want paper trails, you don't want emails, you prefer that there not be any evidence. But he is the top justice official in the country. And if he didn't know, just as the Speaker said, if he didn't know, he should have known. And it's just hard to believe that when he found out that guns were being sold as authorized by his department to international criminals, that he wouldn't call his people in and say, who is responsible for this, unless he knew all along. Either way, he's got to go.
Congressman Gowdy, you've made it very clear that your patience is at an end with this Attorney General, this Justice Department. You asked the Attorney General, because there had been some word of complaint from the Justice Department. You asked the Attorney General if he really believed he was being singled out for political reasons or ideological reasons. I want to share that exchange with our audience right now and then ask for your thoughts. Let's first,
the truth is, you're the one who said you were being targeted because you're progressive. And my point to you is, I would be asking the exact same questions about Fast and Furious, whether you were John Ashcroft, whether you were Dan Lundgren, whether you were Bob Goodlatte. I don't care about the political ideology of the attorney or the Attorney General.
Well, all I would say is this. The decisions that I have made in connection with anything that I've done in the Justice Department don't reflect my political ideology. They reflect my view of the facts, the law, and what my responsibility is as Attorney General of the United States.
And Congressman, I'm going to turn to you now and ask you very simply. The Inspector General of the Justice Department, your committee, in fact, two committees in which you sit, Judiciary and Oversight, have been pursuing the truth. You have, to this point, received 7,600 pages of documents. You still have tens of thousands that this department refuses to turn over to you. Where do you go? What do you do? If not where Congressman Gohmert says, to contempt citation.
Well, you know, Leader Cantor said something very instructive yesterday, Lou. He said he was going to be monitoring and watching the judiciary hearing today to gauge the level of interest, because it has been over a year, the level of interest of the members on Judiciary, which is a separate committee from Oversight, as you know. And I counted a dozen different members on both sides of the aisle who asked about Fast and Furious. It was far and away the most asked about issue. Because this was not a Fast and Furious hearing today. It was a general oversight hearing. So if anything, interest in the issue is peaking. I'm convinced that Speaker Boehner and Leader Cantor and Whit McCarthy, because they wrote the letter a couple of weeks ago to the Attorney General, they're going to support Chairman Issa and Chairman Smith. And as you played, Lou, it has nothing to do with politics with me. Judge Gohmert was a former judge in Texas. Judge Poe's a former judge. I was a federal prosecutor and a state prosecutor. I would be asking the exact same questions if there were a Republican Attorney General. It's not about politics. It's about respect for the rule of law.
And Lou, if I could add, Trey does a great job. It's great having a prosecutor that can cross-examine like this. But if you go back to previous questions he was answering, he made the statement, I believe it's to one of our other members before me, where he said there are political aspects to justice. Mm-hmm. He made politics the issue in justice. It has no place in justice, just as Trey is saying. And for a guy who wants to make politics out of justice. He's got to go. He's hurting the country. People are getting killed because of his incompetence or his mens rea, his guilty knowledge. One or the other. Either way, he's got to go.
Got to go. He stays there. Got to know. There has been very little forthcoming from this Justice Department. The impasse, we had heard a date of the Memorial Day as the time certain for this Justice Department, this Attorney General, to produce a response to your demands for documents, your demands for information and responsive answers. That has come and gone. Is there a deadline that Speaker Boehner, that Congressman Issa, that the committees, Judiciary and Oversight, have agreed upon as to a date certain for delivery of what you've requested?
If there is, Lou, neither Judge Gohmert nor I have been apprised of it. I will say this, Speaker Boehner, about a week ago, sat down beside me on the floor. He is becoming more and more engaged on this issue. So is Leader Cantor. I have wanted to move forward at a quicker pace for some time. And I have, frankly, been frustrated with leadership. They have a hard job, but I've been frustrated nonetheless. I'm convinced that they are listening to your viewers who are telling them this is a major issue. It's not a political issue. It's an American issue about respect for the rule of law. And I would encourage your viewers, and you don't need to be encouraged because you do a great job anyway. Keep asking us these questions until you get your answers.
Lou, one other quick point on the production. We have made requests over a year ago for production of the documents from the Holy Land Foundation that he furnished to the people who've been convicted of supporting terrorism. I've said, you gave them to the terrorists, give them to members of Congress. We want to see why you are not prosecuting these people that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals say there's plenty of evidence to show they support terrorism. He doesn't pursue them either. He's hurting the country. He's got to go.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for all you're doing in service of the country. We appreciate you being here. Congressman